When militants from the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant captured Iraq's second biggest city, Mosul, in June, it sent shockwaves around the world. But since then, ISIS has now gone on to take swathes of the country, declared a caliphate, and instilled fear in Iraq's neighbours. Is the Middle East set to be reshaped by a jihadist group that until recently few people had ever heard of? Hello and welcome back to Analysis Review. With me here to discuss the rise of ISIS are Professor Toby Dodge, Director of the Middle East Centre at the London School of Economics, and Roula Khalaf, the FT's foreign editor. Welcome to you both. Toby, just how do you see and explain the dramatic rise of ISIS?
I think firstly we can't see ISIS in isolation, that this is the product of two failed states in Syria and Iraq, and within Iraq this is a much more generalised revolt of which ISIS is a small part. ISIS has between 3,000 and probably 8,000 fighters on the ground in Iraq. There's no way they could have done a fraction of this on their own. However, they are by far the most organised, the most disciplined, and the most ideologically extreme. So what ISIS have brought to the fight is almost like jihadis with MBAs, with a very keen eye for a kind of ideological focus, and with a ruthless brutality.
And also with a lot of skills in sort of other, perhaps unexpected areas like social media and all of that, which we've
I think
seen
their social media is the great story, and it's why we've been deluged. If you look at their Twitter feeds before they were closed down, they had embedded advertising, which meant as we were drawn towards them, we were actually financially supporting ISIS.
Roula, do you think, what do you distinguishes this group from the other jihadi groups?
I suspect that they have some of the guys who've joined them from the West or from the rest of the Arab world. I suspect, and I can't know for sure, but I suspect that there are real PR professionals here. They have campaigns. If you look at some of even like they publish this kind of annual report where they detailed in minute detail every single operation that they've done. So they have amazing networks of reporting. They also have published like a brochure about how they've handled rural Aleppo. And I suspect that they might be from, you know, one of the things that ISIS has done, it has been able to draw on a lot of foreign jihadis from the UK, from France, from Belgium.
Are they unstoppable within Iraq?
I think they've stopped. I think the government troops rallied in Samarra and have started to push up to Tikrit. I would expect, given the territory, that they'll be able to push up that main road towards Mosul but not retake Mosul. This is the momentum and the shock value was with ISIS, but once the government reformed, once they recalibrated their military forces, once they've got all the support from Iran, Russia and the United States, they'll be able to turn the tide to regain the territory up, but not including Mosul.
They have overreached in two ways. One, in capturing territory with other groups, and they're going to start fighting with the other groups because there is no way that the Sunni tribes and the other Sunni parties that have been willing to cooperate with them now will want them to lead. So you're going to see increasing clashes. The second point is, I think religiously they've also overreached with this declaration of the caliphate and, you know, the pretense that they are the, you know, this guy Baghdadi is the leader of the Muslim nation. You've had a backlash from Sunni scholars, for instance. No one's going to take this seriously.
Toby, what your view on the caliphate? It's something that resonates a lot, but I mean, I think among experts there's a high degree of skepticism as to...
It reminds me so much of so ISIS was, the original ISIS was created in 2006 as an umbrella organisation and then pushed very quickly towards consolidating control, was then rejected, as Roula was saying, by a much more diverse, much more fractured view of Islam, and then you have the so-called awakening, this kind of uprising against the Islamic State. And we see this again. Baghdadi couldn't help himself, had to declare a caliphate, had to demand that other fighting groups put down their guns and give him allegiance, which immediately sets off an internal civil war. I don't think that has a global resonance. I mean, it's a debating point. It's a topic of, I think, amusement and outrage by Muslims around the world. It speaks for his
But it has
chutzpah.
resonance within the jihadi community. I mean, his audience is the jihadi community. He wants to be Osama bin Laden. He is claiming leadership of the jihadi movement.
I would agree, but if we move out, even within Iraq, but we move out of Iraq into Syria, we find this marketplace for jihadism with a series of competing groups. And in that, ISIS is the best organised, but certainly not the most popular and probably hasn't got the largest membership. So we will see whether this is a masterstroke and people will go, oh, Baghdadi, yes, we'll join him. Or they say, oh, look at the arrogance of that man. He hasn't got the credibility or the capacity to deliver what he's promising.
Great. Toby Dodge from the LSE, Roula Khalaf, thank you both very much. And thank you for watching. To follow this subject and other topics covered by our analysis team, please go to ft.com/analysis. Until the next time, goodbye.